So this is a spoiler warning, not only for Cyberpunk 2077, but also the source books. Enough time has passed for everybody, including myself, to talk about this, but the future of Cyberpunk 2077. No, I'm not talking about the game being in the state that it's in. It's in a pretty good state, of course, compared to when it came out in December of 2020. It's 2022. Holy shit, it's been that long. But back to the point. Regarding the future of Cyberpunk, I'm just going to be talking about solely on things like, you know, story wise, the expansions, potential sequels. I would not potential any type of sequel, but that's getting ahead of myself. That's getting way too ahead of myself now that I think about it. Because we already know Cyberpunk is getting a certain type of sequel. Despite the reception when it first dropped, it made back a lot of money. It made a shit ton of money back. But that's thinking way too far ahead. So we're going to be talking about mainly the expansions for Cyberpunk 2077 regarding storylines that they can potentially use for either free DLC stories or expansions, or even side quests within those particular expansions, because they have really good side quests in Cyberpunk 2077. So I think we're gonna get started. Now, before we completely begin, please take this with a grain of salt, meaning do not expect these type of story like don't expect CDPR to do these storylines at any given point. Don't expect them. Don't have any type of expectations whatsoever. This is just a video of me just doing this, talking about potential plot points they could expand on. So don't get your hopes up thinking that CDPR is actually going to do this. They may not. It may do something completely different. Yes, the Nightcorp. I'm gonna call this the Nightcorp saga. Is a multiple quest line that span from a couple side quests throughout the entirety of Cyberpunk 2077. If you don't know who Nightcorp is a shady corporation within Night City in the Cyberpunk universe that was created by Richard Knight's wife. Richard Knight is the guy who created Night City, or it will probably be called Coronado City. He created it, and in the midst of creating it, he pissed off the wrong people and he mysteriously died. Thus, the city is named after him. But fast forward to 2077. What I mean by shady corporations, I'm not talking about just like Arasaka. They're doing some dangerous things regarding human experimentation, human AI interaction in that set experimentation, and of course, we saw some of the ramifications of this experimentation, Project Oracle, when they used the human AI uh, the human AI project on the paralysis, Elizabeth and Jefferson Paralysis. They even it was so bad to the point where it even scared Sandra Dorset, the same Sandra Dorset that we saved in the opening part of the game. And side quest to her for her, we helped her out. We cracked the code. We found out about this experimentation at Nightcorp. Then there's Gary the Prophet. Gary the Prophet seems like he was a victim in the whole experimentation, out the whole thing with Alpha Centauri. He was missing by the time his quest line was done. Then we got Mr. Blue Eyes, who not only appeared throughout the game, not only that appeared when the Jefferson Paralysis side quest popped up, watching over us as we talked to him, but he shows up in one of the endings for Cyberpunk 2077, one of the major endings. He shows up there and has a job for us. So, yes, I can definitely see Nightcorp coming back for like a future expansion or even a small story to set them up as like the biggest bad in the cyberpunk story. I can definitely see them doing that. Now, in regards to V and Jackie, I actually like Jackie Wells a lot, but it feels though to me, and I think everybody else, that we didn't get to see enough of him. So, if anything, I kind of wish, because like I said earlier, there may be a chance they're not going to do this, but I really wish or hope that CDPR give us like flashback story segments as DLC content, like it's showing us more of V and Jackie's friendship before the heist, before things went to shit, in the whole nine. I would love to see that for V and Jackie as DLC in some type of way, shape, or form. Okay, Spider Murphy. I was interested in this character for a good minute now, considering how dope her story really was. And essentially, crazy enough, considering that she was in these certain characters' lives, I was actually surprised when she wasn't in Cyberpunk 2077. Of course, she was mentioned, but she showed up one time in the game, and that was the Johnny Silverhand assault on Arasaka Towers in a flashback, but nowhere else. And it kind of strange me, but for those who don't know who Spider Murphy is, Spider Murphy is the best net runner in the Cyberpunk universe, right next to, let's say, Alt Cunningham and Rish Bartmoss. Rish Bartmoss, he's the guy who crashed the World Wide Web, and essentially he's the reason why everybody has to, jack in and stuff like that. But that's neither here nor there. I would like for her to be included into the story, not only because her relationship to Johnny and all the others, but like y'all saw in the prologue, she was a part of that assault on Arasaka Towers. It has been confirmed by both CDPR and the creator Mike Pondsmith that the events that Johnny perceived in that flashback mission actually wasn't the whole story at all. The whole story at all. And I would love to see the true perspective of that incident in video game form. We know all about it. The whole fourth corporate war thing. Militech hired these guys to go into Arasaka Towers and destroy it. So Johnny Silverhand came up with it. I think he came up with the idea to nuke the tower, because Rocker Boy Johnny always thinks that everything is about him and is really not. So yeah, Spider Murphy, Rogue, Johnny, Shayton, and Morgan Blackhand, all of them assaulted Arasaka Towers during Johnny's flashbacks. And the events are different than how Johnny perceived them. So I would love to see that. And I would love to see Spider Murphy come back just to interact with V, have their own little story of her interacting with V with Johnny through V, because they were friends. Despite how crazy Johnny was, both him and Spider Murphy and Rage, they're all were friends. So it would be nice to see that come to life in a future DLC or an expansion. Cause I ain't gonna hold you, Spider Murphy sounds cool as shit. But that is the end of the video. Thank you for tuning in, listening, watch the whole thing, what have you. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.